Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I'll be doing something a little bit different, something not typically in my MO, and that is I'll be going over some of the battle rating changes that I noticed for May 2022. I'll just kind of be reading off some of the most important ones, some of the biggest ones I've noticed, and also kind of how I feel about them a little bit. This is, again, not a typical video of mine, but I decided that some of these BR changes are pretty darn strange and pretty darn significant as well, so it's definitely worth looking at. That being said, of course, like, comment, subscribe. I won't be doing this sort of content all the time, and I do have a really good video planned coming out tomorrow and next week and the week after, so hey, you know what? It's worth being a subscriber. That being said, let's get into it. And to start, let's go over the F-104J here. So we see this going from 10.7 to 10.3. A lot of people have problems with F-104s being 10 point whatever. They think that they're underpowered. That is a little bit of a shocker to me, but just I think probably a little bit more reasonable going from 10.3 to 10.7. We have the F-104Gs. That makes total sense. The Kafir C2 going down to 10.3 makes sense, but that's also only in arcade. Not a ton of people play it, but it makes some level of sense. I don't really think the Kafir C2 is all that great compared to the better version of it already in game in the regular tech tree. Now, interestingly here, we also have these vehicles going down to 9.3, the SPSK going to 9.3 in arcade, but I can tell you again, Air Arcade, high BRs, they have some of the craziest BRs in game. This is, if I'm not mistaken, about the same BR as an A2D1 at this point, so it's really crazy. Now, interestingly, we have the Lightning F6. This is just an incredible speed demon of a plane going down in BR, but I think what's really awesome is we're seeing the F-86K dropping down to 9.0. That is huge for all three countries that currently use it. I absolutely love this BR change. That is great. And again, I won't really be going over too much when it comes to Air AB, just because for the most part, most people don't really play it, at least in higher BRs, and I'll just be going over some of the bigger ones here. Now, the F2H2, that's, I guess, it makes some level of sense. The A28B, again, some level of sense. I'm kind of shocked that the Vampires, the FB5s are going up, but more shocking to me is that the F-89B and also the F-89D are decreasing in BR. I mean, these planes are ridiculously fast. The only thing that stops them from being faster is their crappy construction. So they actually break. Their wing speeds, or their wings break, believe it or not, because of how fast they move. So that's actually kind of shocking. I'm also kind of surprised that the GA-N1, I don't really consider this to have a great amount of bombs. It's increasing in BR. And meanwhile, we're seeing the D9, the Focke-Wulf 190 Dora 9 going down to 5.0. That's a little shocking to me, but I guess it makes some level of sense. Japanese planes are seeing a general increase here, like the A6 M5s, the M3s. I'm kind of surprised by this. The M6C, a lot of people complain about this plane, that it lost a lot of its maneuverability for useless armor, and because the armor doesn't really do all that much, and it's seeing an increase in BR, so I'm actually fairly surprised about that. And meanwhile, you have a bunch of Euros going down in BR. I think that makes sense. This game is not a very bomber-friendly game, especially in higher BRs. Of course, this is not a higher BR, but it makes some level of sense to see that decrease. Again, kind of shocked that the H8K3 is seeing an increase here. It just seems to be a general increase for Japanese planes in this upcoming BR change. And then you have some general ones down here. One thing I did notice is that the Focke-Wulf 189A1, the Uwu, is going up. Or the Uhu, not the Uwu, whoops. The Uhu is going up from 2.0 to 2.3. So a little interesting there, but not a lot of people have that plane. Thankfully, the Beaufighter Mark 1 40mm, this is one of the worst Battle Pass prizes ever. This thing sucks. It's going down in BR, thankfully, but it still needs to go down further. That thing should be nerfed. I mean, like, the BR, that thing shouldn't be in game. It just is an awful plane, really bad. Okay, now for ground vehicles, and this one's a little bit more varied here. So as you can see, the EBR is going up. Of course, EBRs, War Thunder has famously under-BR'd EBRs. Well, I guess that makes any sense. Under-BR'd EBRs ever since they've joined the game with, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like Operation Summer a few years ago. These things are not, they're very, very powerful because of how fast they fire. Next, we have the PT-76, and I'll show you something in just a moment, but the PT-76 is seeing a BR decrease, largely, if I'm not mistaken, because it doesn't have a stabilizer like the Russian version. So that's pretty darn interesting. The Saleri Sahariano is seeing an increase in BR, which I'm kind of surprised at, being that it's pretty much just an Italian Crusader. Beyond that, of course, you know, the BT-7A, the F-32, of course, are seeing an increase in BR. It's just, I mean, it sucks because I really like that thing at 3.3 BR. So to see it increase is going to kind of suck a little bit, but it is what it is. The AMD-1, of course, it makes total sense, 8.3 to 8.7. But Gleitpanzer, you know, 57, of course. The Puma is seeing another BR increase. When that thing first came out, it was way OP, you know, so I'm kind of surprised. Now, one interesting thing here is the T69 2G. We're seeing a BR decrease from 8.7 to 8.3 right when they're actually stopping the sale of this thing. So that is pretty interesting. Maybe they just thought it wasn't all that good of a vehicle, plus they have the ZTZ 96A, which I guess makes some level of sense that they would just get rid of this, but hey, who knows? You know, of course, the Radkampfwagen 9.7, I guess. The Centurion AVRE is going up in BR, the Hellcat going down, the Obel 74 down. Of course, these are all in AB, but still. Now, the biggest one here, probably, I think, of all of these, the ELC BIS, that thing sucks. And thankfully, it's going from 6.7 to 6.0. I think we're getting to the territory in War Thunder where we are seeing a lot of these really tough to place vehicles, like the ELC BIS, the A10, for example. And it's just going to get kind of worse and worse as War Thunder has to kind of reach more into like prototypes or just kind of more modern vehicles, especially for aircraft, where it's just very difficult to place them. And this is a prime example of it. They got the BR totally wrong with this, and I think 6.0 is much more befitting of it. I wouldn't be surprised if it sees another decrease. I mean, it's just so bad. It's not good. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for aviation and ground. You know, naval real quick. There's not really all too much that you see here. Of course, like things like the Congo, the Scharnhorst is going up. Not surprised at that at all. I kind of wish I had the Scharnhorst before it went up to 6.7, but it makes total sense. There's nothing really all too much here because only about 3 to 4% of people main naval. So, of course. Now, the more interesting thing that I saw is that we have some of the other changes here. Now, not looking at how to speak it in Russian, you have it here in English, and the PT-76 are seeing a massive increase, almost a 50% increase in rate of fire from 8.5 to 12 shots per minute. Huge. The Chinu 2, which just had a nerf because it just had BR increase, is now seeing a decrease in rate of fire, which stinks. It's not too major. It's only about 10%. But as everyone knows, that 10% is a huge deal when even 0.1 seconds can be the difference between life and death. Now, other Japanese tanks are seeing an increase, such as the Cheeto and the Cheeto Late. Awesome. The Ruicap 105 is seeing the DM33 being added. Awesome. If I'm not mistaken, it only had access to the 23, which is great. Now, the M13s, the Italian tanks, these are seeing a massive decrease in rate of fire, which sucks. The M8, big decrease in rate of fire. Same with the M8 LAC for China. You know, all these are kind of whatever. Now, something a lot of trolls are going to have fun with, the 15cm SLG 33 BSFL is seeing an increase in fire, a pretty decent one too, at least compared to you know, what it was before. So that's pretty darn cool. But again, I think that this is really interesting. They're dropping the BR for the PT-76, and they're also increasing its rate of fire substantially. So it seems like, and this is just me, maybe I'm kind of missing the point here, but it seems like for the most part, just in general, Japanese vehicles are getting a bit of a nerf here because they're getting a bit of a higher BR, and they're also seeing a, at least in part, though not entirely, a decrease in other things. Like the Chinu 2, very popular Japanese vehicle, very inexpensive. It's seeing a decrease in shots per minute. I think that the Chinu 2 is probably more popular than the Cheeto and the Cheeto Late. You know, so it's pretty interesting to see exactly what's happening here. But, you know, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Also, one interesting thing I didn't mention, the CV90105 TML, the premium Swedish tank, the light tank, is seeing a decrease in BR from 9.0 to 8.7 in RB arcade. So that's pretty darn interesting. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about these changes in the comments below. Do you want me to do another video like this? I am interested to hear. Either way, thank you so much, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.